Hello and welcome to another edition of Rishi Sunak's conference speech, because we started at 11 o'clock, but unfortunately for us, the conference speech got knocked back to 11:40. So at the moment, we have this crazy woman, Penny Mordaunt. She's yakking on, telling lies about Labour, saying that it's all Labour's fault and that we never did nothing. It was the bigger boys. The bigger boys did all the terrible things. So while I'm gonna just stay on point to you at the moment, I might go over to her conversation in a moment to talk about what she's saying, what nonsense she is well and truly coming out with. There seems to be a bit of a delay on my stream at the moment coming through, so I hope you can see me. I hope you can hear me. And this would be the best time, wouldn't it, to have internet problems? Absolutely the best time. And then in the meantime, I am going to just adjust my wellies a little bit because there you go. Sorry, my screen wasn't quite in the right place. I'm just going to move over. Do you see that? I just sort of slid to one side. Okay. Gin FFFS says Captain Bart Roberts. Okay, do you want to jump into Penny Mordaunt's speech? You want to have a look? You want to have a look? Okay, here she is. This is Penny Mordaunt, Leader of the House of Commons.
Will do anything and say anything to win an election.
What, like saying that immigrants aren't welcome here?
Where his ambition
That the child of an immigrant, of immigrants saying that immigrants aren't welcome here.
To his union paymasters.
Yeah.
And an NEC.
Union paymasters. Your paymasters are the Russians, mate. Your paymasters are 55 Tufton Street. Your paymasters are the oil companies.
Or anyone. He won't stand up for you.
Corbyn's hat stopped HS2. It's all Corbyn's fault. It's all Labour's fault. She actually mentioned before the fact that Labour had left the economy in a bad way. She said that Labour had left the economy in a bad way. I'll just turn it down. In 2010, and they still haven't managed to grow the economy from where it was in 2007. So yeah, right, I'm going to turn it back up again. She made a joke about Tim Farron. I don't even know who that is. I do know who that is. It's the old leader of the Lib Dems.
Down with Hamza Yusuf, the man that made Nicola Sturgeon look competent.
It'd be really easy to key her out and put funny things in the background. If it wasn't presenting, if it was just producing, I'd have some like human-eating plants behind it or something.
For our relationship with the EU,
I'm scared Sunak is changing the law so Parliament can last 7 years, not 5. I don't know if they'll be able to do that.
When our brilliant nation should be focused on the new opportunities ahead.
Don't forget as well, this is going to be Sunak's only speech as leader of the Tories in the conference, because it's going to be an election before the next one.
Be in no doubt what is at stake.
Shouldn't be against the blue screen saying all this.
Will erase everything we have achieved.
Will they?
They will deny Britain.
What have you achieved? You've achieved nothing. The economy hasn't grown in 16 years. The economy hasn't grown in 16. The economy has not grown in 6. Sorry to shout, but the economy has not grown in 16 years. Not achieved anything. Not even achieved HS2.
And fight.
What have you achieved?
Stand up and fight for our families.
Stand up and fight for what? She was going on about the war before. Honestly, she was going on about the war. Going on about people going to war. That's the barrel they're scraping at the moment. The men and women came back from the war and voted for Labour.
And those that voted to remain.
She said she made a gaffe before. She said we have to fight the Brexiteers.
Stand up and fight for your communities. For
yeah,
Scotland,
she said that out loud.
For Wales.
Clip that.
For Northern Ireland. For England.
For England. Yeah, love. She's teeing herself up to be the next leader. I think she probably will be the next leader, unless apparently Murdoch wants Kemi Badenoch to be the next leader.
We have won.
I think it's
against socialism, whether it is made of velvet or iron.
What?
Have courage.
Socialism? What are you talking about?
And conviction, because when you do, you move our countrymen,
jumping at shadows,
and capital.
Fear will keep them in line. Fear of this Death Star, whatever. Fear will keep them out.
The person beside you stands up
Oh,
and
Lawrence Fox is
fights.
being searched by the police.
And when
That's
our
good
party
news.
stands up and
exciting.
fights, the nation stands up and fights. And when our nation stands up and fights, other nations stand up and fight. And they stand up and fight for the
they
things
fight us.
upon which
They go and
the
invade
entire
Ukraine after you
progress
give
of
them loads and
humanity
loads of money and
depends.
allow them to buy loads of property in
Freedom.
London and football teams and whatever.
That is what Conservatives do.
The latest
That
Savannah
is
poll
what
has
this nation does.
Conservatives on 27% and Labour on 46%.
Bring hope.
19 points
and
ahead.
Fight. Stand
She's talking about
up
fighting.
and
She keeps
fight.
talking about fighting.
Thank you,
What?
conference.
That was rubbish. So pathetic. Come on, hit him! Hit him, Darren! Are you gonna let him get away with that? Hit him! Go on! Fight! Yeah. You gotta fight for your right to party. It's people like, yeah, oh my God. I'm going to move the chat window. Okay, I'm going to move it. So that looks a bit more fucking there. A little bit of animation down the side.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the Minister for Veteran Affairs, Johnny Mercer.
Oh God, there's another speech. Oh, I thought we'd got to go into... It's 42 minutes past 11. Oh, mate, I can't be dealing with people being late like this. Oh, look, it's Felicity Minger's husband.
If there's any consolation, I was quite surprised they gave me the slot as well. Conference, thank you very much, and good morning, and thank you to Penny. It's good to be here today. It's good to be here because these are important days.
Yeah.
And it's important first to say thank you to all of you who have taken the time to attend this week, because I know it's not been easy. We all know that.
Steppy, yes.
You know that.
You got to fight.
And I wanted to say a real public thank you for all that you've done over the last year. You are the heart of the party, right? The volunteers
he's
who are simply there because you believe in our mission.
Oh, mate, I'm not here to listen to you. I'm not here to listen to you. I'm here to make fun of Rishi Sunak.
And I acknowledge that.
For being a liar and a cheat and a multi-millionaire who doesn't give a shit about anyone who's not also a multi-millionaire.
Because, yes, I'm a campaigner.
I remember V. No pants.
Campaigner for veterans'
Robert
rights.
Englund was in V of Freddy Krueger fan. Aliens came and they pretended to be our friends, but they were really lizards who wanted our water.
I love Plymouth. But above all of that, I'm a patriot. And the truth is, we stand at a crossroads.
You're in Manchester, mate.
And I want us to really focus
to him.
On what lies ahead.
His ivory tower.
Out there.
Oh dear. We have the circle of doom.
There's a country that is yearning to be won over. That really does not want to vote and have a Labour government. They want to change.
What?
They want to change that works better for them.
They don't want to vote?
Everyone wants change after 13 years. Just ask my wife.
Oh, Felicity gets a mention. Oh, God. Oh, she's trying to smile and it doesn't work. Oh, my God, that was horrible.
It's really tough.
Suella Braverman tried to smile.
Look, we've done a lot to support the people.
This human suit is itchy.
Paying half of the average household bill, freezing fuel duty, benefits rising in line with
we want to change. Basically, just stood up and said that everyone wants Labour now.
But for too many people,
and when you missed the bit, I think, where Mordaunt was talking about councils that were being facing financial meltdown. Well, that will have to include Hampshire Council, which is a Tory-run council.
And I would not be here today if that was not happening. You can feel the change. You can feel the change this week. Long-term decisions for a brighter future actually mean something, right? Take my crusade on Veterans Affairs. I joined this party.
Your failed crusade.
Because like many ordinary Britons
absolutely
today,
failed.
I saw it as the party of the nation. Moderate, patriotic,
MAGA language,
and and values.
Sod off mercy, you utter nothing.
I believe that if I could show the values that were missing in the care of my generation of veterans of Afghanistan, this party would close that gap.
No, you didn't. You had the opportunity to do that, and you fucking didn't do it, Johnny. Your party didn't do it. Your party failed you.
Shouting loudest about their country outside yet another party conference.
Well, that's what Penny Mordaunt just did.
Threshold and were prepared to sacrifice body and mind for
Unlike
our
Penny
way of
Mordaunt.
life.
I think she was in the Weekend Wet
for our
Warriors.
values. And in the last 30 years, we have seen politicians repeatedly failing to take the long-term choices for our veterans.
Your politicians, your party, you're literally talking about your freaking party. And why are you so badly lit?
We made a conscious decision straight away that we were going to follow in the footsteps of our American, Australian, Canadian and other peer nation allies and change our structure of government to better look after our veterans.
I just want to make a quick prediction here, as someone who knows a little bit about lighting. Not lots, but a little bit about lighting. If the lighting is this bad on the white people when Rishi Sunak gets up, it's going to be even worse. There's a lot of lighting setups are rigged up for Caucasian skin. Because even lighting is racist.
In the United Kingdom today. Because the truth is, the veterans' care in the United Kingdom has been transformed. Single dedicated pathways for physical and mental health.
Oh, thanks, David.
In our
Keep missing the live shows, Graham, but always watching you on catch up.
Long-term funding.
Cheers, David, and thanks for the super chat all the way from Hong Kong.
Veterans in the criminal justice system to a compassionate but really aggressive approach to ending
HS2 cancellations to fund Tory tax cuts for the wealthy buddies. Well, they've already spent loads of money.
Many governments around the world have tried that.
And they're just going to keep that money, aren't they?
But we are actually going to end rough sleeping because of a lack of provision in our veterans by this Christmas under a Conservative government.
Bullshit. 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 Sorry. Roland Rat might be having his teeth polished. Maybe he need. Badly lit, also Denti absorbs the light.
Totemic scourge on the lives of our
He's basically slagging off his own party here. He's going, oh, everything's terrible.
Has been removed. The hounding of these special people who stood against terror and violence in Northern Ireland on our behalf was appalling. It was a stain on our nation. Not just on the veterans community, but the nation as a whole. The sight of these men being arrested in their 80s, dragged back to Belfast.
He voted against more benefits for veterans, yeah. It
was a totemic symptom
classic Tory
of a nation's moral
classic Tory. He's just lying and lying and lying again.
To end that was about hard choices, right? It was about principles. It was about honesty, about what could be achieved in that space. It talked about who we are as a party, who the Prime Minister is as a man, his character, what he believes in. It was about values. And with the Northern Ireland Legacy Act, we have now achieved that change. I pay tribute to Chris at the Northern Ireland office, of course. But mostly, I pay tribute to the unstinting bravery, patriotism and courage of that generation of veterans who served in Northern Ireland. I know you have not always felt it, but your sacrifices brought the peace that we have today in the United Kingdom, and we are unequivocal in our admiration and total respect for your service, and I hope you can begin to feel that now for yourselves as well.
Yeah, it's an insult to the colour blue. Well, the most valuable colour was purple.
As perhaps the one-time fiercest critic in this space, but acknowledging we have further to go, I can honestly tell you the veterans' care in the United Kingdom has never been better.
Why is your lighting so bad?
Okay, these are the things.
Is everyone getting this?
Long-term decisions for a brighter future.
His nose is getting longer.
Labour don't even have a veterans minister in their shadow cabinet.
I think it's a surprise for everyone. Why are we watching this? Bloody hell. Bring on Rishi Sunak. I thought I'd say those words, but he is literally 45 minutes late.
Right? And if we know anything at all, it's that Keir Starmer believes in nothing at all.
What?
He will bend to the highest bidder.
What? He believes
First
in
for the rough
nothing. This is the
water,
guy who
he's
stood
gonna
up
bail out.
for the McGlibel people,
Okay?
against
contrast this
McDonald's. This is the guy who went around the world
for Brexit,
campaigning for
despite being told
getting
it
people
was ending
off
his career.
the death penalty. He
Creating
believes
a
in nothing.
world-leading
You
first
believe in nothing.
throughout
Well,
the
no, actually, you
pandemic.
do believe in one thing, Tory boy.
Taking a
You believe
leadership
in
role
money.
in our approach
That's all
to
you
net
care
zero
about.
with
That's all you
working
believe.
families.
Lies,
Working
lies, and more
families
lies, says Bob Roberts.
are
Thanks for the
hostile.
super chat. How do
He's
they
in it to
intend to
serve.
research the stats
I know
on
him.
veteran homelessness? I don't know.
I
They'll
know that
just make it
central in
up
his
like they
mind
always do.
are the working families of this nation, who drive this nation, who serve in the armed forces, who drive the economy, and frankly deserve better than they've had from
Oh my
Westminster.
God.
And the British people deserve that.
So
They
badly
deserve
lit.
that leadership.
I mean, I understand for the
must not
crowd,
consign
but
them
obviously
to
this
years of
camera
a
here
feeble
is
Labour
adjusting
government
for
they
that
don't
white.
want,
See the white
doesn't believe in
sign
anything at
there above me?
We must
That.
hang
It's
together
adjusting
in the
for
months
that.
ahead. This is
A really
the vital
bad
piece. We must
bit
hang
of
together.
setup that. But
Now
I
is
don't
the
know
time for
I don't know what they're doing.
focus. A focus on our nation, on the mission above ourselves.
Then again, I guess the people who set
We
all
do
this up
that,
probably aren't
I'm
Tory
convinced we
voters.
can
So
get there. Let's get to it.
my son is a vet. He moved to Canada to be treated better. Yeah, Audrey. I don't blame him. The most bored ovation ever.
Change
It was
is
like,
saving 12 million jobs at the height of a global
a
pandemic.
million jobs.
Today,
Yeah,
I can
people
announce
doing
that for the
3
first
jobs.
time in
People
our
working
history,
for an hour a
the
week and calling
government
it a
is going
job.
to step in and help to pay people's wages.
Change is fixing the Northern Ireland Protocol after years of arguments.
Rishi Sunak hailed a decisive breakthrough on Great Britain's trade arrangements with Northern Ireland.
Change
Breakthrough.
is
Climb
challenging
down.
the status quo. with
Just
a
did
new
what the
approach
EU
to
told
net
him to do.
zero. Change is doing politics differently. Setting
Is it?
targets.
Doing politics differently? You've been in charge for 13 years, mate. The same old shite. Trickle down. Waiting lists as over 7 million people. You haven't stopped the boats. Over 100,000 people have come here on boats while you've been in power. Or your party's been in power. 100,000? I mean, come on. Come on. What is this? What is this? Can everyone hear this? I don't know. Hey, listen, if my levels are low or the sound is low on the stage, let me know and I'll pick around with the sound levels. Oh God, this is terrible wife.
Hello, I'm worth over £500 million for my daddy's company that still trades at Russia.
Hello. Big hello to everyone. I was supposed to put a sign in the way. Everyone, hello, how you all doing? Just want to let you know that I'm incredibly rich and I don't give a shit about any of those povos.
Good morning.
Looks like a rabbit
Thank
in
you.
headlights.
Okay. Well, I just got away with good morning. We're almost at good afternoon. But yes, you're absolutely right.
I'm filthy rich.
I'm not on the agenda for today.
No, so
A
fuck
bit
off.
of a surprise addition, shall we say.
Oh, okay.
And a
Go
surprise
and
for my
talk.
husband too,
Yeah. He's sacked it
who
all
has
off.
no idea what I'm going to say. When I told our lovely girls, Krishna and Anushka,
Oh,
about
we're
being
family,
here today,
family,
they were also
family.
quite surprised.
Very,
But
very
look,
wealthy
the reason
family.
why I'm here
Talk about your
is
dad.
really quite simple.
Talk about your dad's company still trading with Russia
And it's because
while
Rishi and
Ukrainians
I
die, while
are each
the
other's
Russians
best
kill
friends.
Ukrainian babies. Go on,
We're one team,
talk about that.
and I could not
Thank you very much,
imagine
Emma, for the super chat.
being anywhere
Get rid of
else
Tories and
but
mental health
here
in the country will improve.
today
Absolutely.
with all of you
Oh, look, he's waiting in the wings.
to show my
God,
support
the
to
Phantom of the
to
Opera
your
is here.
party.
Does the HSH mean Rishi helicopter service? Yes. No, he wouldn't be cancelling that though, would he? I've got a Porsche. Emma Thompson and the young ones. Yeah, indeed.
Now,
Footlights College.
as you'd expect, there's been a lot about Rishi in the
Not on the
media,
agenda. Security.
about
I
who
like
he
that.
is,
Yeah.
what he likes, what he doesn't like, what motivates him, and so forth.
Nothing. Absolutely. He
some of
likes
it
money.
is
That's it.
accurate.
Money.
I'm afraid he
Money.
does love a good rom-com. The cheesier, the better, even.
It's got to do with running the country into the
And some
ground.
of it is not so true.
How about
So
you
you'll
stop
be
running the
relieved
country in the
to
ground?
hear that episodes of Emily in Paris are not informing his outlook on the EU. But But in all seriousness, though.
Oh my giddy aunt! What is going on? Ah! Lord, deliver me from this hellscape. I hate this country. I hate this country.
Who is leading us there.
Hello, everybody. I'm the very rich wife of a very rich man.
That sums up my husband. And that is aspiration.
Money. Aspiration?
Runs through his DNA.
Aspiration! He was born rich! He went to one of the most fucking elite schools in the whole fucking country, love! Aspiration?
To move to the UK.
He was head boy at Winchester!
And aspiration is what drives Rishi.
No, it's not. Money is what drives Rishi, and money is how Rishi got to where he is today. Yeah, Azina, what the fuck is this? I'm sorry. I know I shouldn't swear. Get the swear jar out. Here we go. Put a load of money in the swear jar. I'm going to have to save up a little bit.
I was struck by two things about him. No, not his smart suits or his love for hoodies. He actually didn't own either back then. But two much more important things.
He didn't own a suit.
His deep love for his home, the United Kingdom. And his sincere desire to ensure as many people as possible have a chance to have the opportunities he was lucky enough to have had.
Oh, bullshit!
Completely.
What? He is one of the biggest ladder kickers in the entire bloody realm. What are you on about?
Optimism.
Yes, anyone can achieve anything if they put their mind to it. And their daddy owns one of India's biggest IT companies that still trades with Russia.
And passion for the future of this country.
Oh, Graham's saying he shouldn't be watching this as a recovering alcoholic. Yes, I feel your pain, mate. If you want to sack it off, I won't blame you.
That is why he entered politics almost a decade ago. And
I'm shuddering listening to this tripe, says Michael.
It is the greatest honour imaginable for him to be Prime Minister.
Yeah, in this country that you were a non-dom citizen of until last year. So you only had to pay, what, 20 grand was it? Instead of £3 million that you avoided in tax because you are a massive fucking tax-avoiding person. Oh, my God.
As I said earlier, getting together with Rishi...
Tory lies matter. Thank you very much, Brian.
...was not the easy route.
What?
It meant, in our early days together, a complicated, long-distance relationship.
Oh no! Oh my God! We only had 7 helicopters, so we had to choose one. It was awful. Oh, the humanity! One day we didn't have enough caviar. It broke my heart.
An incredible zest for life.
Yes, a zest for money.
What drew me to him most
was his money.
Was his strength of character.
His money.
His honesty.
His money. Well, I think your money as well.
With a
drew him.
firm understanding.
Hello, I'm rich.
I'm rich too.
Oh, let's get together and have rich children.
Oh yes, spoiled brats are great. This is the woman who was married to the guy who had the green card for America, which promises to make America their forever home. So let's hear how proud he is to be British.
His parents moved to the UK from East Africa with very little. But they
very
built
little.
Here a life
they got him into Winchester, mate. They got him into Winchester. Very little, my arse.
Patients' lives, beyond the doctor's surgery, was a big part of how he saw his role.
Oh, right, okay,
Rishi's mum trained as a pharmacist, and years later, after saving enough to open her own shop, she too went above and beyond the call of duty to build deep-rooted relationships with her customers.
How much is Winchester? Was it 30 grand a term or something mad like that? All right, yeah. All right, even in the 90s when he was in school, it was a lot.
And they were wholly devoted to it. That love of community grew in Rishi too. From a very young age, as the most natural extension of how he sees home.
I've got no working class friends. He literally said that. Well, I have aristocratic friends, I have upper class friends, I have millionaire friends, but I've never even met a working class pleb.
I would like to take this opportunity to thank you all.
I had to shake hands with one once, and I washed my hands afterwards. I couldn't get it clean. I was like Lady Macbeth.
Please know that Rishi is working hard to do the right thing. For
the right thing. Here's the right thing. Here's the right thing. Akshatta, he can fuck the fuck off. There you go. Fuckity bye.
That is why he has
call an election.
Told some hard truths already.
Call an election.
Knowing him, he'll continue to do so.
No, he won't.
He shares
he
your
just
values,
lies. He just lies.
And he knows how much you care
Oh my God, this is like someone's love letter to a convicted psychopath in jail.
Nobody knows him like I know him.
He did murder all those people, but he had a heart of gold. Always got around him down the pub. Imagine Rishi Sunak in a pub.
He wants the next generation to grow up in a country that offers them opportunities.
What do I do? Where do I go? What happens there?
Them build rock-solid foundations.
You just pick up the champagne off the tray when the waiter brings it over to you. What is hell going to the bar thing?
Community in all its forms.
What's this? Is this a card?
Sometimes, when the going
credit
gets
card?
tough,
I didn't know how this
I
thing
remind
works.
Rishi
Do you put that into the jar? Does the card go into the jar? That's how you pay. I don't know.
Knowing that it's a hard
Don't have to
road
pay for things.
ahead,
I'm rich. I
but
get given
success
stuff for
is
free,
hard won.
as most rich people do. Thank you very much
Rishi,
for the super chat, Gardy.
you
Thanks
know
for putting this
this.
on. At least we can laugh.
You
Thank you.
know they're doing the right thing for the long term.
I'm out of tea.
Even when it's hard.
God, he's 45
it's the
minutes
right
late.
thing to do.
Rap.
And I hope you also know how proud
Like he hadn't
you
vetted
make
this. He
our
doesn't.
girls
He
and
doesn't
me
know what I'm going to
every
say.
single day.
Christ, this is like sitting. This is like sitting through the worst bloody best man speech ever. He's such a good bloke. I remember that one time when we were in Amsterdam, when I helped him, bury that corpse.
Conference, thank you for letting me gate crash to tell you a little bit more about the Rishi that I know, and the Rishi that I hope most people will come to understand. Now, it gives me the greatest pleasure to introduce you to a wonderful, wonderful father, my best friend, and your Prime Minister, Rishi Sunak.
Your Prime Minister, whoever you are. Not my Prime Minister. I'm pissing off to America once all this shit is over. The later side of weakness from our Prime Minister. Yay, here he is. It's Rishi Sunak. Hurrah. The lighting from that angle is not too bad. It's a bit flat. It's not really dynamic, but it's okay. Again, you can put it. The lighting there, look, it's quite well lit, actually, on the stage, but then when we go to the main shot, I don't know, maybe they've adjusted it.
Thank you.
Falling concrete, shit in the water, shit in the sewers, in the rivers, out the sewers and into the sewers. Nope, bad lighting. Look.
Conference, thank you. Thank you.
Three people going, Rishi.
Thank you, everyone.
That settled down quickly.
Thank you. Thank you
Hooray.
for that introduction, and thank you for always.
Why didn't you just say he was coming on at 12?
Why?
I had things to do this morning,
Truly
Rishi.
the best long-term decision for a brighter
You
future
rich
I
twat.
ever made.
What an investment, hey? I went to Winchester. Look at the
I've been
plebs.
blessed in my life. I have a wonderful wife and 2 daughters who make me proud every single day.
Right.
And I was also lucky enough to grow up in the most loving of
Time for
homes.
blue screen. Yeah.
My dad was a GP and my mum a pharmacist. You did need a smaller mention of the last summer, I know. Now, in so many ways, I wouldn't be standing
Dad was
here
wealthy enough
before
to
you
send you to
today without
Winchester.
them. My mum and dad were and are my inspiration. Thank you, Mum. Thank you, Dad.
For making me love money more than human life. Money, 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 money. A present from the Invisible Man.
Like so many of us in this hall, they understood the importance of community.
Community.
And made sure that I did too.
Do you know any working class people, mate?
They didn't believe community was some extension of government.
Oh, right, okay.
Rather, they understood
Such a
community
thing as
is sustained
society,
by
I believe your predecessor saying that.
by those
I
who
remember
look
your
out for their
predecessor saying that
neighbour,
in the 80s.
treat others as they
There's
would
no
like
such
to be
thing as
treated.
society.
They understood
We all just
the
need to
fundamental
marry a
importance
billionaire. Yes,
of
Irene, that's a good
service.
idea.
It was seeing the difference they made to people's lives
Please screw
that
this
made
up.
me want to go into politics.
Have a
And
coughing
my
fit.
mother set up her own pharmacy.
That's a projection, that
It was
sign
a
there, so it's not
proper
going to fall down,
family
unfortunately.
business. We all chipped in.
But with that blue screen
As a
behind him, we
teenager,
can key
I helped deliver
anything we like
prescriptions and do the books.
to that shot.
I learnt there the importance of being able to meet your commitments and make
Meet
good
your commitments.
on your promises. And my parents are long retired now, but the Sunak pharmacy left me with a lasting respect
I'm just trying to
for every
just-
small family business. This
Sorry.
Conservative Party, the party of the grocer's daughter and
just
the
having a bit of fun
pharmacist's
here
son,
with the
will
blending mode.
always be the party of enterprise, the party of small business.
Yeah. Yeah, the party of small business. This party has seen literally tens of thousands of small businesses and large businesses collapse under their watch. On their watch.
I've been Prime Minister for almost a year now. And we have done good things in that time.
Have you?
We've made progress
What
on
have you
our
done?
5 priorities. To halve inflation,
Oh, have
grow
you?
the economy,
Grow the
reduce
economy.
debt, cut waiting
Grow
lists and
the
stop votes.
economy. We're
But
going to
today-
grow the economy.
I want to share with you my reflections on what I have seen and what I have learned doing this job.
There you go.
I have seen up close the quality of our armed forces and our intelligence services, truly the
He's so
finest
badly
in
lit.
the world.
This is not my, honestly, this is not my feed making him badly lit. He just is badly lit. I feel like trying to fix it. Do you know what I mean? I feel like I should try and fix the badness of his.
The debt
his
of
tunes.
gratitude we owe them is why we are making this the best place to be a veteran. And
I
know
love,
we
I
will
love the
deliver,
Labour social lines.
because we have the Minister for Veteran Affairs sitting in Cabinet.
Sorry, I'll
Jimmy
stop mucking
served
about
in
now.
Afghanistan.
Right,
This is personal
back to work.
for him. He
Do his ears grow every time he lies.
soldiers in battle, and now
How many of his
he
white
is
businesses
ensuring
went bankrupt
that it
taking
is this
COVID loans at them?
Conservative
Yes.
government making our
good shout
country
there.
fit for our heroes.
They effed over all our small businesses, indeed. LED backlit, that's why the lighting's off. Yeah, indeed it is. The background is too light. What was the GDP per capita in 2007 again? It was $3.09 trillion. And last year it was $3.07 trillion. 15 years later, hurrah for the Tories. Rah, 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 we're getting slashed the oils.
Australia and the United States keeps the world safe
What's he
for
saying?
decades to come and creates jobs here at home.
Oh,
And
so
through our
boring.
leading
You're
role in NATO,
boring.
We remain the
Look at this
European
horrible
security.
thing. Jeremy from Peep Show.
All testament
You're 40,
to this
Jeremy.
country's global reach and influence and our
So
determination
cringe.
to take long-term decisions.
Is
in
he
the
going to say
national
delivered?
interest.
Have you been delivering stuff?
contrast,
Has he said delivered already?
Just
Or was I
remember that
messing
not
around
once,
with
but
the,
twice,
with the picture.
Labour tried to make
3
a man
times a
Prime
lady.
Minister who didn't believe in NATO, who would have
Yes, he's
surrendered
mentioned
our
Jeremy
nuclear power,
Corbyn.
and
It's
who's
mentioned
blamed
Jeremy
Britain for
Corbyn.
every
Let's have a
problem.
party while he
Keir
mentions
Starmer
Jeremy
might want us to
Corbyn.
forget
Woo,
about his
woo,
repeated
woo.
support for Jeremy Corbyn.
Hey,
but
he's
we
even said
never
his
will.
name, Jeremy Corbyn. The
You can
ghost
never
of Jeremy
trust Labour
Corbyn is
with our
coming to
country's
get
security.
you on a parallel timeline. Not even a Labour MP anymore. But you know, that guy wasn't he awful?
I'm proud to say
What about the
we've
guy who
also led the
partied
world
during
in
lockdown?
providing
What about the
support
guy?
to
What about
Ukraine.
your guy who you were
We were the
chancellor
first
for,
country
who
to
had
send
cocaine-fueled
battle
orgies when you couldn't visit
Now
your
more
dying
than 10
nan?
others have followed.
But you know,
We were the
Corbyn.
first country to send long-range weapons to Kyiv. Now
Oh,
France and the United States have followed.
wait.
We were the first country to agree to train Ukrainian pilots.
Your wife's
more
dad's
than a
company
dozen
still
others
trades with Russia, though, mate. So some of those bombs
I
are
say
being
this
paid
to our
for
allies.
by the
If
taxes
we give
that
President
your
Zelensky
wife's
the
dad's
tools,
company
the
pays for
Ukrainians
operating
will
in
finish
Russia.
The job. Slava Ukraini.
Piss off, you disingenuous twat. How dare you say that when you make most of your money to a company that still trades with Russia, in Russia? Yeah,
Doing
can we
this
mention
job,
this
I need
trust?
to talk
Yeah.
to inspirational men and women across our country. You see that our most potent strength,
Corbyn
our
card
most
proves how
powerful
desperate this
resource, our greatest
grifter is.
hope is
Can't
our
disagree with
people.
that, mate.
But what I've learned
What have you
is
learned?
that there is an undeniable sense that politics
you're
just
a
doesn't work the
gobshite.
way it should.
What?
The feeling that Westminster is a broken system. And
You
the
are a
same
broken
goes
system.
for Holyrood, Cardiff Bay and Stormont. It isn't anger,
He zoomed in on the
it's an
bracelet.
exhaustion with
Yes.
politics.
Because
In particular,
multiculturalism has
politicians
failed.
saying
They wanted
things
to
and then
show his
nothing ever
bracelets to show that
And you know what?
multiculturalism has failed.
People are
So
right.
having our first Hindu prime minister is not
Politics
enough.
doesn't work the way it should. We've had 30 years of a political system which incentivizes the easy decision, not the right.
You lot have been in charge for 17 of them!
Vested interests standing in
17 of those 30 years, your party has literally been in charge of the country!
Than a short-term headline.
Jesus wept!
And-
Ah!
Because our
Hulk
political
smash!
system is too focused on short-term advantage, not long-term success. Politicians spent more time campaigning for change than actually delivering it.
Oh,
It doesn't have
delivering,
to be.
delivering, he said delivering, he said delivering.
I won't
Woo,
do it.
it's a party, we're having a party
Our
in little
mission
Rishi
is
Sunak's
to
house because he
fundamentally
said the
change
word
our
delivering. Woo! Woohoo, the Jezza bomb. Thank you very much, Johnny. We've had plenty of party of small business. What next? Yeah. Well, we're in a small business of parties. Having parties when you couldn't visit your dying nan. We're the Tories. We crashed the economy. We've not grown the economy in the whole time that we've been in power. 13 years, no growth. No growth whatsoever. Not even got back to where we were in 2007.
Or brighter future. It is about power for the sake of power. It is in short.
You are the exact. You are the person who is in power for the sake of power. There's no reason that you need to be doing this. You've got no one that you represent. You represent literally the richest people in the country, in the world, and they don't need any more representation, mate.
Rather than the deeper, more structural changes.
I believe it's swear time, says Peter Barlow. You are fucking right, mate.
So where a consensus is false, we will challenge it. Where a vested interest is placing itself above the needs of the people, we will stop it. And where common sense is under attack from an organised assault, we will defend
Common sense. You are the attack on common sense. Common sense would not be, I don't know, letting Boris Johnson run the country. Common sense would not be leaving the EU. Common sense would not be sacking off HS2 in Manchester and announcing it in Manchester.
How we will achieve this, beginning with a set of long-term decisions to build a brighter future for our children. And
a brighter future for our children that you've taken all their rights from, rights and privileges.
You can already see my approach
from the ones that aren't multimillionaires, like your kids. Let's get rid of inheritance tax, because I don't want my kids to have to pay it, says this guy. 300 million they'll have to pay if he pops his clogs tomorrow.
In my own constituency, it is the beauty of the North York Moors and Swaledale and Wensleydale that makes the place
Wensleydale. More cheese, grommet.
Also value frankness and consent.
Don't recall Corbyn ever being PM. No, no,
politicians have a duty to treat household budgets with respect, and that change
he hasn't
only
resigned yet, Dan,
if we bring
unfortunately.
people with us.
God, this is boring.
As you could tell by the reaction to my decision to chart a new course to net zero,
a new course.
Argument to have.
I'm sorry, but there's going to net zero, and then there's going in the absolute opposite direction of net zero. And maybe you could circle the world and get to where you want to be, but I don't think it quite works that way. You have turned 180 degrees, you turned against net zero. There is no way of achieving it through your policies.
And
you bastard,
you
irredeemable bastard.
Simply wasn't right.
It simply wasn't right. I wasn't making enough money, and never were my friends who I went to Winchester with. How we laughed over canapé. Canapés, cucumber sandwiches, caviar, pins on the lawn.
Or from those for whom spending thousands of pounds means nothing. Change is difficult.
Spending thousands of pounds means nothing. You are one of the richest people in the country. You are one of those people.
We will still meet.
Oh, well, you know, it's all these posh people, it's all these rich people. They're the problem, really, because they can just spend thousands of pounds and not care about it.
And offered an unapologetic defence of good conservative common sense.
Good conservative, what would you call it? Grifting, making sure you can make loads of money. How much money did Emphasis make off that MPP deal? It was a $1.5 billion deal, wasn't it, Rishi? That your father-in-law's company benefited from, and that you've got what 700 odd million shares in that company. That's still trade to Russia. Bastards!
Because that is the only way to create the sort of change in our politics,
saving HS2 to last, saving the best to last.
Desperately want to see. Now I
desperately want to see some better lighting in this place.
And I don't want to waste time debating the past, because what matters is the future. The facts are the facts.
He just honestly said that with a straight face. Don't want to talk about the past. Oh, by the way, Jeremy Corbyn, Labour left us in a bad financial state. It's all Labour's fault. The last 30 years have been doing it wrong. But I don't want to talk about the past.
And most important of the 5 priorities I set out at the start of the year.
None of which you have any hope of achieving.
Requires getting inflation under control.
Yes, do it then. Do it. Go on then.
The biggest destroyer
He's
of all.
Only in charge.
Of industry.
He's only in charge.
Of savings,
yeah, and you set that up. Your party set that up with Liz Truss's Trussonomics, and they were applauding her the other day, going, "Yes, that was great. Remember when we trashed the economy?"
Not my words.
Not my words. The words of Shakin' Stevens.
As true now as they were.
The words of Shakin' Stevens, Lynn. I don't want to waste time debating the past. Also, Corbyn! Yeah, Azina. Or Azena. It's a smug grin. He's permanently fixed while he utters this bullshit that makes my piss boil.
We will
Rob,
deliver them.
I feel your pain,
But the
mate.
best tax cut we can give people right now is to halve inflation and ease the cost of living.
Oh, it's a tax cut now, is it? Ease the cost of living that you guys ramped up, that you guys set in motion, that you guys have not grown the economy one single bit in over 15 years. And 13 years of which you were in
And
power.
with inflation under control, our debt reduction will become easier. And as debt falls...
Debt, yeah, you've talked about debt, so that's over 100% of our GDP now.
We need our economy to grow faster. And for people across the country to...
Do you know how that we achieved that, dickhead? We vote you motherfuckers out of power! That's how we achieved that, you irredeemable twat.
We now know that we have had
the
one
future
of the
they've destroyed. Yes, Emma, thank you for the
pandemic
super chat.
Of any major economy in Europe.
He paid to have a whole village's electricity infrastructure upgraded to power his swimming pool. Yeah. God save I was spitting. Sorry, I don't smoke. I do like a cup of tea now and again, though.
Since leaving the single market, we've grown faster than France and Germany. Not despite Brexit, because of Brexit.
Good conservative, racism, homophobia, transphobia, fascism, says Leslie, and I can't disagree with that.
We have the largest life sciences, financial services, creative and tech sectors in all of Europe, and we have near record numbers of people with the security that a job provides.
It's nothing to do with you.
And if we want
yes, I'm going to take credit for Grand Theft Auto 5, even though I had nothing to do with it.
Growth, and that's exactly what we're doing. We still have the lowest.
They've made it more difficult for artists, for creators, for musicians to trade, tour in Europe, exhibit their stuff in Europe. You make everything more difficult for them.
To grow.
The creative industries fucking hate you, mate.
Drives growth in a modern economy. So we also have the most generous tax regime for research and development.
Lies! No, we don't.
Ever more competitive.
No, we don't. And plus, no one wants to invest in us at the moment because we're seen as a untrustworthy business partner because of you clowns. Only a Sith deals in absolutes. 1/4 of record growth does not undo 3 years of stagnation caused by your policies. 13 years of stagnation.
Trade policy now is why we can be the first European country to join the £11 trillion Pacific Trade Pact, linking us to
it's in the Pacific, you lemon! It's in the Pacific! And you can't just put the GDP of all these different countries together and go, this is how big the trade deal is. Because it doesn't work like that.
To the Solent, ensuring the benefits of trade and investment are supported.
Graham, you're making this unwatchable with your screeching. Yes, Alex, I am good. I'm going to put some more money in this.
Red tape and saving small businesses £1 billion a year.
It's fine. There are other ways of watching this than on this channel at the moment, but you know me. If you watch this with me, I'm going to not be happy about it. There may be screeching.
Brexit was more than a vote to leave the EU. It was a vote to change, to become something more. It was a statement of our belief that Britain could begin a new story, one which reached all parts
in which we all live in poverty except for the ultra-rich.
We must keep making the case for taking back control, because if we don't...
we still got to take back control. Oh my God, he's using that line?
To align us with
we have to take back control from what?
So that we never seize the full opportunities of Brexit.
What opportunities are there? Who are you going to trade with, mate? Burkina Faso? Burundi?
First,
the trade deals that are going to give us like 0.08% of growth through our economy over 10 years. Amazing.
Then he wanted free movement. Then he didn't. He said he wouldn't try and renegotiate our deal. Then he said
your last Prime Minister
and then
actually
just 2 weeks ago, he was caught on camera telling a meeting of international politicians that he now just wants to follow all the EU rules. The irony isn't lost on me. While we're busy thinking about the future of the United Kingdom, Keir Starmer's
so you're going to have your own iPhone leads, are you? You're going to have your own iPhone leads. You're going to have our own standards in this country. You're pouring literally gigalitres of shit into our watercourses, and you're telling us that we have better standards than anywhere else. Yes, indeed. We don't have to follow European standards because we like having shit in our waterways.
Is that it won't be what he's promising you. But the worst thing about Sir Keir is that he just says whatever he thinks will benefit him the most. It doesn't matter.
Unlike Rishi Sunak.
Doesn't matter if
Rishi
it's
Sunak
true.
never says things that he thinks will benefit him the most.
He said the
Stop the
opposite
boats.
just a few weeks or months ago.
Stop the boats.
He is the walking definition of the 30-year political status quo I am here
Of which
to end.
your party has
That is
been
why we have to
in
beat him
power
and
for the
conquer him.
majority
That
of.
is why we will.
What? This is the man who U-turned on a U-turn about onshore wind farms. This is the man who said he wouldn't go to COP27 and then he fucking did. This is the man who said that HS2 was going to go to Manchester until a few weeks ago and now he's decided he's not going to go to Manchester. And he's talking about U-turns. Oh my God.
Then we must
The hypocrisy.
Right.
I could smell the hypocrisy emanating out of the Manchester Central Convention Centre all the way here in Durham. It just stinks.
This consensus said that our national economic regeneration should be driven by cities at the exclusion of everywhere else. It said that the most important connections those cities could have was to London and not anywhere else. And it said that the only links that mattered were north to south, not east to west. What we really need, though, is better transport connections in the north.
No, we need both.
A new network
we need
north
both, mate.
that
This
will
is
join
a
up our
false
great towns
dichotomy.
and
This is
cities
not
in
a
the
zero-sum
Midlands.
game. We need better
I
connections
wanted
east
to
and west.
come
We
here
need better
to
connections
Manchester
north-south
today
as well.
to say that this will be our priority, our
Victorian
focus, our
creaking
project.
railways. How are you going to do this?
HS2 is the ultimate example of the old consensus.
Oh, really?
The result is
Okay.
a project
that your
whose
party
costs
pushed.
have
That your
more
party
than doubled,
pretty much invented.
which has been
came up
repeatedly
with,
delayed.
pushed.
And it is not
Spent loads of money
scheduled to
on.
reach here in Manchester for almost
£2 to the swear box.
decades,
Thank you very much, Captain.
and for which the economic
Barbara.
case has massively been weakened with the changes to business travel post-COVID. I say to those who backed the project in the first place, the facts have changed. And the right thing to do when the facts change is to have the courage to
You're
change
touching yourself, Graham.
direction.
Yeah, the courage to do a massive U-turn. Massive, absolute U-turn. So he's just lambasted Keir Starmer for changing policy as a result of them crashing the economy. And now he's going to say that doing a U-turn's a good
And
thing,
so
really, if
I
you
am
think about
ending
it.
this long-running saga.
Flip-flop.
I am cancelling the rest of the HS2 project. And in its place...
Bastard.
And in
Bastard.
its place, we will,
Sinister
we
bastard.
will reinvest
One person cheered.
every single penny.
What? You've already spent it?
£36 billion
You've already spent
in
it?
hundreds of new transport projects in the North and the Midlands across the country.
Okay,
this
name them.
means
What are you gonna do?
£36 billion
Don't be
of
vague.
investment
Tell me what
in
you're
the
gonna do.
projects that will make a real difference.
What
across
projects
our
are they?
nation.
Explain them. Explain one of them. Explain one of these projects. Go on. Zero-sum game at the Tories. Oh, we've only got so much money, you have to choose between one or the other. They only do this as the mayor of Manchester, Andy said the other day.
As a result of the decision we are
Andy
taking
Burnham.
today,
Andy
every
Burnham
region
said
outside of London
it's only London.
will receive the same or
in
more
London they can have both.
government investment
Here we have to
than
choose.
they would have done under HS2, with quicker results.
Quicker
No
results.
government has ever developed a more ambitious scheme for northern transport than our new Network North.
Okay,
This
go on,
is the
show us
right
it.
way to
Show us
drive
it.
growth and
Go on,
spread
you've got this whole
opportunity
screen
across our
behind you.
country
Use it to
to
show a
level
graphic
up.
of what you're going to do.
With our
Show
new
us exactly how
network
you're going to connect Liverpool
you
with
will be able to
Newcastle
get from
via
Manchester
Leeds. Go on,
to
show
the
us how you're going
new
to do it.
station in Bradford in 30 minutes, Sheffield in 42 minutes, and to Hull in 84 minutes on a fully electrified line.
Why can't we have this as well? Maybe because he spent 37 billion on a test and trace system that didn't work when he was Chancellor, that he signed off on. 37 billion, ladies and gentlemen.
All right, there's more. We'll protect the
We're gonna
£12 billion
do some
to
things.
link up Manchester and Liverpool as planned, and we'll engage with local leaders on
Oh,
how
as
best
planned.
to deliver
Okay,
that
so you're going to
scheme.
do the thing that you
We'll
said you were
build
going
the
to do.
Midlands Rail
Well,
Hub,
well
connecting
done.
50 different stations. We'll help Andy
50
Street
different
extend the
stations.
West
I think there's
Midlands
50 different
Metro.
stations on
We'll
the
build
Piccadilly
Leeds
line
Tunnel.
alone, mate.
We'll electrify the North Wales main line, upgrade the A1, the A2, the A5, the M6.
You've got to upgrade the M6 again. So
We'll
he's already
connect-
getting half turned into a smart motorway. which is dangerous and something done on your watch under your bloody Tory party idiots.
But there is more.
Thank you for the swear jar. Bastards, bastards, bastards,
more.
bastards.
We'll connect our union with the A75, boosting links between Scotland and Northern Ireland. We will fund the Shipley bypass, the Blythe Relief Road, and deliver 70 other road schemes. We will
Road schemes.
roads across
We don't need more roads. We need more rail, you absolute cretin. We're going to electrify the lines.
Build hundreds.
Should have done that 100 bloody years ago.
The £2 bus fare across the whole country.
Guff says it right. I know the comment didn't come up on the screen, but he just says C-unit, simple as that. We're going to have everyone pay £2 to get on a freaking bus, so it's cheaper for them to drive. Great. How about you make buses free?
I challenge anyone to tell me with a straight face that all of that isn't what the North really needs.
All of that isn't what the North really needs. Because you wouldn't know, because you are a posh southerner who only comes up here because you were ballooned in on a bloody...
train to London ever would.
Parachuted in on a balloon into Richmond in Yorkshire. But the reality is, you're a southerner and you don't even want to be part of this country. You want to be American. You were getting a green card. You're on your way to get a green card, mate.
And yes,
for America, another country.
Will still run here to Manchester.
Where's the expertise coming from? Who is going to build it? Which foreign countries' businesses are going to profit from these new projects?
And I say this to Andy Street, a man I have huge admiration and respect for. I know we have different views on HS2, but I also know we can work together
North
to
needs
ensure
to evolve.
a
Well,
faster, stronger spine.
we need to never vote for the fucking Tories ever again. Do you think the North's learnt its lesson now? Will the media call out the lies? I don't know. He's promising a bunch of bollocks that's not going to happen because this kind of thing takes... He's saying, oh, it's going to be faster. It won't be.
Will no longer be responsible for the Euston site. There must be some accountability for the mistakes
made. So it's going to end.
For the mismanagement of this project.
It's going to end in Old Oak Common. Oh, my God.
We will instead create a new Euston development zone, building thousands of new homes for the next generation of homeowners, new business opportunities, and a station that delivers the capacity we need.
Do you reckon they're going to make some luxury flats?
For the first time
luxury
in
flats.
the life cycle of this project, we will have cut costs.
Cut costs.
Cut
people's livelihoods.
How
about you cut the costs of all the heating bills that you made double overnight?
Taken from the Euston site and given to the rest of the country.
Again, zero-sum game. It's like, oh, we've only got so much money, we have to give it. And they think we're idiots. They think that running a country is like running a household budget. It's not. They can make as much money as they need. They can borrow as much money as they need. Well, they used to be able to. Before this gang of idiots got in charge.
They will say that halting it signals a lack of ambition.
Yes.
There will be people I respect, people in our own party, who will oppose it.
Yes.
But there is nothing ambitious.
You're going to have a white elephant now, going from
Curzon
Street in Birmingham to Old Oak Common in London.
There is nothing long-term about ignoring your real infrastructure needs so that you can spend an ever larger amount on one grand project. They will say that we have already spent so much on it that it would be embarrassing to stop. That, though, would be an absurd reason to continue, an abdication of leadership.
You are an abdication of leadership.
There is somehow a cross-party consensus on the project. As I have already said, that consensus is wrong. For too long, people in Westminster have invested in the transport they want, not the transport the rest of the country, particularly the North and the Midlands, wants and needs.
Ed flapped for the swear jar because I'm doing a lot of swearing. Thanks, Ed.
And to those who disagree, who will focus on what I have stopped, I ask you to consider what we have just created with Network North.
What have you created?
An alternative, which in place of one delayed and overrunning project, will now begin.
That your party has been in charge of for the last 13 years. Because you can't run a large infrastructure project. This is failure. This is complete failure on your behalf. This is failure. That's all it is.
You can't have both. So those who wish to disagree with me, I respect that. But they should have the honesty to admit that they would now be cancelling the hundreds of alternative projects right across the country that people will benefit from instead. Conference, I think our plan is simply a better long-term investment of £36 billion.
It typifies your cowardice, your stupidity, and your inability to run a large infrastructure project. Something that other countries in Europe, most notably France, Germany, and Spain, manage with aplomb. You can't manage one high-speed rail line. Look at what's happened in Spain over the last 20 years. They have put in loads of high-speed rail. Revolutionised the country because they've got competent people in charge, perhaps. Or at least the people in charge are smart enough to put competent people in charge of things rather than their mates who are on the make.
Now, our commitment to the principle of an NHS
You don't have any principles.
is immovable.
You don't have any principles.
And this Conservative government is putting record resources into our NHS and social care too.
Lies.
But we Conservatives know that you don't measure your affection for the NHS just by how much money you put in, but how you reform it for the challenges ahead.
You've been in charge for 13 years. I can't say this enough. This is like an opposition speech. This is like a speech you would expect from an opposition leader. Going, oh, the people in charge, they're really bad. You vote for us, we'll do all this stuff that's different to them. Only these motherfuckers have been in charge for the last 13 years. And here we are.
Million NHS workers,
more money for the swear jar.
including nurses and hospital porters. We have met the recommendations of the independent pay review bodies.
Yeah, when Starmer does it, it's a U-turn, but when he does it, it's having the nerve to change.
We have cut their taxes on their pensions as they requested.
I need some water.
But they continue. Need a stiff drink to demand massive, unaffordable pay rises, and that they have chosen.
Yes, the doctors are the bad guys.
This week says
the doctors
it all.
are bad guys.
This strike is all about politics, not patience.
Yeah, the doctors are the bad guys, the billionaires are the good guys. Who saw that coming? Have you seen that film? You know, where the doctor is trying to save people's lives, but actually killing them, and the billionaire who seems to be destroying the planet is actually saving it somehow because net zero.
These strikes are not in the spirit of the NHS. This year we celebrate its 75 years of service, and one of my abiding aims as your Prime Minister is to set the NHS up for the next 75. True believers in the promise of the NHS wanted to reflect the world we live in today. That means a higher quality service that offers you, the patient, more choice, allowing you to use any provider, independent or NHS, free of charge if that will get you treated quicker. A common sense reform that this Conservative government has made.
Common sense reform. It's just common sense, really.
Now next,
do you know what common sense would be?
Yeeting
this band of bastards into the deep blue sea.
We've not trained enough doctors and nurses. The result?
Yes.
The NHS either hiring staff from abroad.
Yes.
Or paying temporary.
We've not trained. He just said it himself. His party did not train enough doctors and nurses. This is just a litany of disasters. He's just going on with that. We fucked that up. We fucked this up. We fucked everything up. And we're going to continue to fuck things up for the future if you vote Tory with a party that fucks it up.
That for the last 75 years, not a single government has planned for how many doctors and nurses the NHS will need in the decades ahead.
They haven't. What a shame. You've been in charge for 13 years. 13 years. Why are you pretending that you haven't been in charge for the last 13 years when you blatantly have been in charge for the last 13 fucking years?
Ways of working, all driving up productivity.
They tried to block the NHS being formed in the first place. Yes, I'm one angry pagan. I'm not a pagan, but I'm pretty angry.
And make the changes that will enable the
I'm glad there are people as angry as me.
Productively as the
set in my head. Honestly, I've got a headache. I've got a headache from listening to these lies. These utter bullshit. A bullshit overload. They put a cap on doctor training places. Yeah, they did. And they want to stop foreign students coming over as well.
Decision really is. Given
It's not like we
it
need
takes up
people to come from other
15
countries
years
who are
to
highly
train a
skilled.
consultant, there's no politics in this investment. It's not about credit. It's about our kids and their kids.
Right.
They'll get a much better and stronger NHS.
Will they?
And that's why we're here. That's why we Conservatives do what we do, up and down the country, from Whitehall to Town Hall.
What do you do? Ruin
We're
everything.
building a better future.
Shit
for
all
the
over
next
everything.
generation.
That's what you do.
But to ease the more fundamental burden of
Next
demand
generation, he's going to be in
on
America.
the
He's
NHS,
going to be living in
we
an ivory
need
castle in
more
America.
preventative care to stop people having to go to hospital in the
Private
first place.
security all around,
We must tackle the
protecting
single
him
biggest
and his privileged little
entirely
family
preventable
from
cause
the braying
of
mob
ill health,
outside.
disability and death, and that is smoking. In our country, smoking causes 1 in 4 cancer deaths. It kills
British American Tobacco are a
64,000
big
people
funder
a
of the
year
Tory party, so that's
and
interesting.
leads to almost 1 hospital
Morris?
admission every minute. It significantly increases the risks of strokes, heart disease, dementia,
Yeah, smoking
and
is bad,
stillbirth.
we know.
Now, we've made great progress in tackling smoking.
Doctors have told us
the
to
number
stop
of
it.
people smoking is down by 2/3 since the 1970s. But if we
Yes.
are to do the right thing for our kids,
It was Labour who
we
banned it in
must
public
try
places.
and stop
Not you.
teenagers taking up cigarettes in the first place.
No, you've done bugger all,
Because
and you
without a
haven't done
significant
anything
change,
to
thousands
ban
of
disposable
children
vapes
will
or
start smoking
discourage
in the
children from
coming years
vaping.
and have their lives cut short as a result. People take up cigarettes when they're young. 4 in 5 smokers have started by the time they're 20.
Very large gin is not enough,
Later,
says
the vast
Robert.
majority
Thank you very
try
much
to
for the
quit.
super chat, mate.
But many
Appreciate
fail
it.
because they're addicted and they wish they had never taken up the habit in the first place. Now, if we could break that cycle, if we could stop the start, then we would be on our way to ending the biggest cause of preventable death and disease in our country. So I propose that in future, we raise the smoking age by 1 year every year. That means a 14-year-old.
This is a New Zealand policy. I mean, I agree with it, but it's a New Zealand policy. It's not like this has revolutionised anything. The EU is
means a
holding HS2
14-year-old
back.
today
Maggie
will
Pie.
never
Is that
legally
true?
be
That Boris
sold a
Johnson said that in
cigarette,
2019.
and that they
That's
and their
incredible. Thanks for the super
generation
chat.
can grow up smoke-free. Now, we
Oh,
know
I'd like
this
to
works.
grow up
When we raised the
conservative free,
smoking
mate.
age to
That'll be
18,
nice.
Smoking prevalence dropped by 30% in that age group. When the United States raised
Just
the
one
age to
sec, I've got to
21,
unplug my
the
laptop in.
smoking rate dropped by 39% in that age group. Smoking places huge pressures on the NHS and costs our country £17 billion a year. We have a chance to cut cancer deaths by a quarter, significantly ease those pressures and protect our children, and we should take it. This is not a values judgment on people who smoke. I don't believe it would be fair to take away the rights of anyone to smoke who currently does so. And the vote on this in Parliament will be a free vote, as the bar on smoking in public places was, and raising the smoking age to 18 was. There will be no government whip.
Oh, a smoker! Look, it's a smoker. It's the health secretary who's
you
a
all
heavy smoker.
and the
We've seen her
country
smoking a
to know
cigar,
what
haven't we?
mine is.
I love the fact that the camera crew
For a
decided to focus on her.
measures that restrict
Therese
choice
Coffey.
are never easy.
Health minister.
I know
health
not everyone in
Secretary
this
for
hall
health
will
she
agree
was.
with me on this,
Jesus
but I've
Christ.
spent a long time weighing up this decision. Simply put,
13 years and now they want to
unlike
talk about smoking.
all
We need
other
to get
legal
rid of this
products,
rotten lot out. Yeah.
there is no safe
And
method of
as someone's
smoking.
pointed out in the chat, nothing
And what
about
is
vapes.
ultimately
Nothing
saving
about vaping,
is
which
that
is where
none of us,
it's
not
where the
even
tobacco
those
companies
who
have gone
smoke,
now. They've moved
want
towards
our
vapes because they
children
realise that
to
they can
grow
hook
up to be
children on vapes a lot easier
this
than they could
change
even hook them
can make
on
that a
cigarettes.
reality.
Because they don't
It
smell
will
as bad
save
as
more
cigarettes. They don't
lives
necessarily
than
smell of
any
cancer.
other decision
But they're full of chemicals that are really, really toxic and really, really bad for you. And the Tories are doing fuck all about it because they are the Tories. And I'm sorry to swear. I put some more money in the fucking swear jar. I keep missing the swear jar.
And
There you
as any parent or teacher knows,
It's going to be full by the end of the
one
show.
of the most worrying trends right now is the rise in vaping amongst children.
Oh, he's going to mention vaping.
1
Okay, go on.
in 5 children.
What are you going to say?
have used
What are you going to do
vapes.
about it? What are you going to do about it?
We must act before it becomes endemic. So
It
we
is
will also
already
bring forward
endemic,
measures
you
to restrict
twat!
the availability of vapes
You should have
to
acted
children,
10 years ago.
Looking at flavours, packaging, displays, and disposable vapes.
Looking very
As
slowly.
Prime Minister, I have an obligation to do what I think is the right thing for our country in the long term.
Which is what?
And as Conservatives.
Oh no, Rishi Sunak is paused. We've got the swirling circle of doom. Very sorry about this. Technical problems. I blame the BBC. Don't know why this very long and boring speech has just stopped mid-speech. But there you go. Come on, when you're ready. Plain packaging on vapes. Well, I think vapes should be just banned. Just ban them. The thing is with vapes as well is they're kind of a little bit harder to smuggle in than cigarettes, aren't they? But yeah, it's just the whole thing's a nightmare. Right, so we're just going to look at this swirling circle of doom now while my internet isn't working. This is great, isn't it? Don't you love technical problems that you can do literally nothing about that happen when you're going out live to 272 people? Hello, everyone watching this. I'm very sorry, but the feed has paused and I don't really know what to do about it. I'm just going to...
Of course,
hello.
About illegal immigration.
There we go. Oh, God, he's moved to illegal... Oh, my God. Immigration.
That you...
Oh, my God. Okay, well, listen, I'm going to...
The British people decide who comes here.
What is going on?
Not criminal gangs.
You are a criminal gang and you
Those
decide
gangs
who comes
fly a
here,
trade
so,
that leads
you know.
to innocent people dying.
No, your
We have
policies
a
lead to
moral
innocent
duty
people
to defeat
dying
evil.
because you make it so that the only way you can
I've
claim
never
asylum
pretended that
is by
stopping the
breaking the
votes was
law.
easy. At the time I committed the government
Or coming
to
here
delivering
in
that goal, the consensus
unconventional
was
means.
simple. There was nothing
You
we
should
could
have
do
used
about it.
Duracell, indeed.
They pointed to 4 years of growing crossings and said,
I don't know what the hell's going on here.
well, conference,
Why is this so
they
bad?
were wrong.
I think this is happening
It is
to everyone.
Not impossible, and we are proving it. Small boat crossings are, for the first time since the phenomenon began, down 20% this year.
That's because of the weather more than anything. Oh God, he stopped buffering. I'm just going to refresh the page. Sorry about this. I'm going to just refresh the page here.
All while...
Sorry about this, everyone. I don't know why.
I am confident
it's not
that our approach complies with our international obligations.
No, it
but
doesn't.
Know this.
It's in
I
complete
will do
contravention of Article
whatever is
14 of the UN
necessary
Declaration of
to
Human
stop
Rights
the boats.
and what we signed up to as the European, as the Worldwide Refugee Convention in 1951. We are going against international law. We are breaking it, not in a limited and specific way, but in a massive, horrible and
Now, by
illegal
contrast,
way.
Labour's plan is to cook up some deal with the EU, which could see us accepting around 100,000 of Europe's asylum seekers.
100,000.
If your answer to illegal migration is to increase
We've already
it,
accepted them because they came
clearly
across in small
just
boats.
Don't get it, and that is why
100,000.
we
It's
have to
funny you should say that number because that's how many people have come across in small boats in the last few years, none of which came before 2017. But then we changed the rules and we decided that we couldn't send people back to France because we were leaving the EU, and as a result, there are now 100,000 people coming here in small boats because of you,
Labour simply
putting people's
don't
lives
share
in
our
danger.
and the country's values. My values are simple: service, family,
Money, 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 money,
work.
money. Money, 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 money,
I
money.
was brought up to understand the value of work. Work gives you security.
No, you weren't.
Work gives you purpose.
You've never worked a day in your life, mate.
When
You're,
the
you're
pandemic
filthy
hit,
rich. You just had some
we
conversations.
were faced with the
That's
prospect
not working.
of 12 million people.
This man is completely
losing that
incapable.
security,
He couldn't wire
that
up a
purpose
DVD player. He can't
once
do
you're out of
anything.
work,
He
it
can't
can be
do
hard
anything
to get
physical. He
back
can't
in.
fix a car. He can't
wasn't
lay a
prepared to
road.
pass
He
12 million
he
people
wouldn't know where
into
to
that
start.
darkness.
He doesn't even know how to
I'm
pay for
proud
petrol,
that
for Christ's
furlough
sake.
not only prevented this, but helped ensure
He has
our economy
conversations and makes
recovered
decisions.
more
That's been his
strongly
job
from the
all his life.
pandemic than France, Germany, and Japan. Never forget the scale.
Never forget this man made loads of money out the credit crunch.
In
Never
6
forget this
weeks.
man made millions out
Something that
of the
had
credit
never been
crunch
done before,
that
from
our
scratch.
economy has still not
I was
recovered from
told it wasn't
because
possible.
these clowns don't know what they're doing.
That it wouldn't work, but I got it done.
Fancy
Furlough
cooperating
was
with the EU, the
compassionate
horror,
conservatism
indeed.
in action.
Not if you're self-employed. Not if you're one of the over 3 million self-employed people who got fuck all.
If furlough was one thing that helped us get through COVID, then Ian Duncan Smith's welfare reforms were another.
What?
The old system could not have
What?
coped with the pressure in the way that his universal credit did. But we have more to
You
do.
mean universal credit that's
We
been
must
widely derided
end
as not
the
working
national
for
scandal
millions of people?
Where our benefit system declares that more than 2 million people of working age are incapable of actually doing any.
Yes.
That's not conservative. That's not compassionate. That must change.
Oh, really? Okay,
In
and you're going to decide
2011,
who can do work and who
1
can't?
in 5 of those doing a work capability assessment were deemed unfit to work.
Yes.
But the latest figure now stands at 65%. Are people 3 times sicker today than they were a decade ago?
Yes,
No,
yes, because of you.
course not.
Because of your
It's
government.
not
Because of
good
your
for our
government,
It's
your
not fair on
reforms, you have
taxpayers
made the
who
country
have to pick up
sicker
the
than
bill.
ever.
And it's
There are
a
7
tragedy
million
for those
people
2 million
on
people
waiting lists for
being written
NHS operations.
Hughes
Over
accepted.
7.5
And
million,
that is why
actually.
we are going to
It
change
doesn't
the
surprise
rules
me that 1
so
in 5
those
people
who
can't
can
fucking work.
do work.
You rat-faced bastard. You absolute chugging fuckburger.
Your values and your priorities should be expressed in everything the public sector does. Too often, it is not. In too many parts of our permanent state, virtue signalling has replaced common sense.
Oh, and he's going to have a go
Suella
about
said,
virtue
There is
signalling
no
now. Here we
such
go.
thing as a minor crime. If the police tolerate crime and antisocial
Virtue
behaviour in any
signalling.
form, we'll have more crime
We're
of
entering
all
poppy
sorts.
rage season
So
soon,
that's
so that'll
why
be
we
fun.
now have record numbers of police officers, and every
Virtue
crime
signalling.
should be investigated.
Oh,
Our
mate.
streets will be safer, our communities
Virtue
more
signalling.
secure. No
Virtue
one
signalling. He
should
did
be
say that,
afraid to
didn't he?
walk home alone at night.
Remember when the concentration camps are coming? Indeed, for back to chicken.
And our London mayoral candidate, Susan Hall, is doing a great job of holding Sadiq Khan to account for his failings on policing.
Oh, what?
Londoners
His
need
failings on
safer
policing.
with
You
citizens.
guys presided over the Met being found to be institutionally racist, sexist, homophobic, and absolutely rotten to the core. You guys are the guys who cut 20,000 police officers and led to a spike in crime.
And I am clear, there are
They
some
did that.
crimes so heinous that those who perpetrate them should spend the rest of their lives behind bars.
Like you. Like the
So I
fraud that
can
you've
confirm
committed
that we
as
will
Chancellor.
legislate for
Yeah?
sexual
Okay.
and sadistic murders to carry a full life term with no prospect of release.
They already do, mate. They already do. What are you talking about? They already do. How about you do something about the fact that the vast majority of sexual assaults never go to court, even go to court, never mind the perpetrators going to jail.
We are going to
2% of rapes reported to the police, which is the minority of actual rapes that happen. 2%, 2% go to court, and a smaller percentage result in a custodial sentence under his government.
to know what their children are being taught in school.
Thank you, Maggie
about
Pie, for the super
relationships.
chat.
Patience.
Work gives you
to know when
freedom.
hospitals
Yes,
are talking about
indeed,
men
Maggie.
or women.
Our
And we
Brecht
shouldn't
Macht
get
3 or
bullied.
something, was it? Written above the gate going into Auschwitz. Peter Barlow, again. Thank you very much for the £2 super chat
And
there.
we shouldn't get bullied into believing that people can be any sex they want to be. They
Oh,
can't.
fuck
A man is
off!
a man, and a woman is a woman. That's just common sense.
Bullied into what? Trans people are not the bullies. You, the rich and powerful, are the bullies. Oh my God, we're being bullied
We should also
into
never be
saying
afraid
people
to
have to
talk
be
about the
whatever
things
sex they want
that
to
matters
be.
most to most
You're not
of
being
us.
bullied, mate. It's called equality.
Whenever you want to talk about
Rat
family,
bag.
everyone whispers, is that wise, Prime Minister? You'll be accused of promoting a one-size-fits-all view.
You
But in
transphobic
this
son of a
Conservative
bitch.
Party,
Fuck
a
off.
party that
Oh, I'm
legislated
done
for
now. I
same-sex
don't think I'll put up with any more of
marriage
this. Thanks very
and
much
investing record
to
amounts
Ryan
in
there for the
childcare.
super chat.
We know that what
I might have to
matters
turn. I
is
might
that
need to turn
love
this
cascades down the
sound off. It's
generations.
just like it's hurting my ear. His values are to make him and his family rich, and you make the poor poorer. Yes, make everyone else poor.
It is
Everyone else.
family that cares for us
Shazak,
at the beginning
£2
of
super
our
chat.
life.
Even
It
I'm
is
failing not to
family
swear.
that
Thank you.
helps us learn. It is family
Oh my
that
God,
sustains
you
us.
absolute
And in
rat
older
bag! I
age, it
can't
is
believe that he
family
threw in there
that
a little bit
lightens
of
the autumn of our
transfer. You know, we had a We had some transphobia yesterday off our Home Secretary, a bit of racism. We need to not be afraid of being racist. Leave her in a room with a bunch of fucking racists and we'll see how unafraid of racism that she is.
And there's another family that matters to us all.
What happened to freedom? Indeed, Dark Cookie.
England, Scotland, Wales, and Northern Ireland. Today, our union is the strongest it has been in a quarter of a century. The forces of separatism are in retreat across our country. Nicola Sturgeon wanted to go down in the history books as the woman who broke up our country, but it now looks like she may go down for very different reasons.
All of you lot should go down. All of you lot should go to jail. The hypocrisy of these people knows no bounds.
Combination of four nations with a proud history.
Remember that Sunak speaks to the Tory members only, not to the rest of us in the country. Yeah, Clive. But there were, there's LGBTQIA plus people who are in the Tory party, and I just can't believe that they're putting up with this shit.
They came here because our country stands for a set of values. We are the home of fair play, the best of British. We are the place for those who want to add to our national story.
Cruella racist, man.
The United Kingdom has done a huge amount for my family. I often think about how different our lives would be if my grandparents had not left India and East Africa all those years ago.
Yes.
I owe our country everything.
And that's why you are taking everything that you can, kicking away at the ladder, and then fucking off to America at the first opportunity.
The United Kingdom
you
is also
absolute rat bag.
Successful,
non-dom. Not married to a non-dom. Your wife was living in 11 Downing Street as a non-dom. 11 Downing Street. Oh God, it's frozen on Stuart Braverman. Oh my God, I'm so sorry. Ryan, thank you very much for the £5 super chat. You've come up north, now go back home. You came up north, now go back home. Oh my God.
We've had 3 female prime ministers, and I stand before you today as the first non-white leader in our
three female prime ministers, but one lasted 6 weeks. So I mean, it's not that great an achievement. And another one left. Both. Thatcher left in tears as well, but Theresa May, what did she manage? 2 years, if that.
Meanwhile, Labour's last 3 leaders all live within the same square mile of North London.
What? Now, you are one of the richest people on the fucking planet, you disingenuous, hypocritical fuckbag!
One American magazine even sent a reporter to Yorkshire to write about how a candidate of the wrong race could cost the Tories one of the safest seats in England. But they should not have
I've got one of the safest seats in England.
Onto our country.
I don't know how I won. It was one of those places where they could put a rosette on a pig and it would win, but I don't know how I won. It was just good luck, fortune, really, which was nice. The union is as strong as it's ever been. I write half the Scottish population supports independence.
Were not interested in my colour, but my character. Never let anyone
interested
tell
in
you
the fact that you're a Tory, mate,
racist country.
and they just vote for Tories.
My story is a British story. A story about how a family.
Thank you for suffering through this with us. Thanks very much, the big Marvin Ski. Thanks very much for the super chat. Oh, I've given myself such a headache. I'm going to have some Paladin and some water and a lie down after this.
Secretary, even the chance to become Prime Minister.
Oh, look at that smug little face. I'm trying to smile like a human. It's not working. There's no such thing as a minor crime, and a speeding ticket should give you life in prison. I don't think they believe that. Well, they don't even believe that fraud is a crime. They took it off the list.
When I first became an MP,
crimes to make it look like the crime rate had gone down, which it hasn't.
To see me.
Gone up.
As we stood in Westminster Hall, on that floor which Disraeli and Churchill had walked across so many times, my grandfather suddenly got out his mobile phone and started to make a quick call. I was a new MP, and I wasn't quite sure whether phones were allowed there or not. And I said, Nanaji, can't you just wait a moment? And he replied that he was calling the landlady he had when he had first arrived in this country. He said to me, I just wanted to tell her where I was standing. Now, I am proud to be the first British Asian Prime Minister.
Yeah, but multiculturalism has failed, mate, hasn't
I'm
it?
prouder that it's
Tell
just
us.
not a big deal.
Yeah, multiculturalism has failed. Go on, tell us. Tell us that story and end it with... and that proves that multiculturalism has failed. Brilliant. Gillian Keegan there crying. She's actually crying. Oh, it's so beautiful. Oh, my God. This is his only speech as Prime Minister.
Just remember,
at the Tory party conference.
it was the Conservative Party that made that happen, not the Labour Party.
What? What? You can't take one decent thing the Tories have done,
Now, if we
which
want
isn't
to
that
change
decent
the
because you are
direction of our
incredibly rich and
country
did
and
go
to
to
build a
Winchester.
better future,
Doesn't really
nothing
bode well
is
for
more important
children
than
and
making
from
our
different ethnic
education
minorities
system
growing
the
up in the,
best
you know,
it can be.
in inner city
When our
London
party
or
came to
Manchester
power in
or
2010,
Leeds or
our
Liverpool or
schools were
Bradford.
slipping down international league tables. Now,
I'd
they
be
are
more impressed with the
rapidly
Prime
rising.
Minister that isn't rich. Yeah,
Of
Alex,
what
I'd be
we
more
have
impressed with the
done
Prime
in
Minister
government since
who didn't go to
2010,
private school.
what I
And
am
did they go to private
proudest
school?
of
Not one of the
is
top
our
private
record
schools in the
on
country like
education.
Winchester.
With Michael and Nick Gibb, we took on
Someone's
a
got to be
failed
proud of you,
private
Sunak. It might
regime.
as well be you.
We brought back proper knowledge. We empowered reformers. We gave parents more choice and helped them hold
No, you didn't.
schools to account. But perhaps
No, you didn't.
the
You
most
got some privately
profound
educated
thing
person to run Ofsted and tell
to
people in
disprove the
state schools that
idea
they weren't working
that
hard
there is
enough.
something
While
predestined
private schools don't have to follow the
about who
national
will
curriculum
succeed
or be
and
inspected
who
by
won't.
Ofsted if they don't want to be.
We have state schools in some of the most deprived parts of the country,
Yes.
producing some of the best results.
Oh really? Oh really? Are they there
Empowered
in
by
front of you
reform.
now? Are they part of
Don't
the Tory
think that there
faithful?
limits
Are they?
to these
Rishi
children
Sunak?
because of the postcode they were born in. Rather, they demand, inspire, and deliver excellence.
Deliver! Deliver!
Labour
He said
government
deliver!
would
Quick, turn the
never
disco light on. Disco, disco,
Rather,
disco,
Labour
disco. He
pursued
said
the
deliver.
false
He's going to
dream
deliver.
of 50% of children going to university.
They're going to deliver
and
a
abandoned
decent bloody
apprenticeship.
set of lighting.
This assumption that the only route to success was the university
Lighting setup
route
even.
was one of the great mistakes of the last 30 years.
What? What? Well, sorry, but you were in charge of most of that. Your party was in charge of most of that. One of the biggest mistakes. Okay.
It led to thousands of young people being ripped off by degrees that did nothing to increase their employability or earnings potential. So we are
Yes,
stopping
it did.
universities
It's just
from
that you
enrolling
destroyed the
students on
economy, mate. That's
courses
been the
that do
problem.
nothing
It's not.
for their life
But
chances.
a lot of people
Under
left the
us,
country with their
no
degree
more
and
rip-off
are making
degrees.
money in other countries where you can actually make money. You can't make money in this country unless you already have money. Take it from me, you can't.
And if you want to know how much I value apprenticeships, look at the fact that in Gillian, we have our first ever apprentice to be Education Secretary.
Wow, he's actually pointed to the one person in the whole audience that didn't go to private school. We have our token pleb. Everyone applaud the
Today,
token
I want to
pleb.
build on these Conservative achievements and take a long-term decision to address the problems with our 16 to 19 education system. Technical education is not given the respect it deserves. Students don't spend enough time in the classroom. A quarter of
How
our
would you know?
children leave education without
How
the
would you
basic
know?
literacy and numeracy they need to fulfill their potential.
Wasn't a problem for Boris Johnson, was it?
Too narrow a range of subjects.
Oh, no
Today,
range of subjects.
I am
okay.
changing all of that.
Oh, right,
Pulling
okay,
one
are
of
you?
the biggest levers
Single-handedly.
we have to change the direction of our country.
Gillian schools
We
are
will
collapsing. Oh well.
introduce
Yeah, indeed.
the new
Should give us
rigorous,
some credit.
knowledge-rich, advanced British standard, which will bring together A-levels and T-levels into a new single qualification
Oh
for our
God, they're
schooling.
dicking around with qualifications again.
First, this will finally deliver on the promise.
Oh, he said deliver! Quick, party,
party,
disco ball! He's got to deliver. What's he got to
Because
deliver? A load of
all
bullshit,
students
tinkering
will
around
sit
the edges.
advanced British standard. Second,
Oh my God.
we will raise the floor, ensuring that our children leave school literate and numerate. Because with the advanced British standard, all students will study some form of maths and English to 18 with extra help for those who struggle most. In our country, no child should be left behind.
Literally 1 million children in this country go to bed hungry because of you fuckers in the Tory party.
Third, our 16 to 19-year-olds spend around third less time in the classroom than some of our competitors. We must change this. So with our advanced British
Stop
standards,
making our
students
fucking
will spend
schools so
at least
shit then, says Duke.
195 hours more with a teacher. And fourth, A-level students generally only do 3 subjects compared to the 7 studied by our economic competitors. The advanced British standard will change that too, with students now typically studying 5 subjects, and thanks to the extra teaching time that we are introducing, the greater breadth won't come at the expense of depth, which is such a strength of our system. Now, our new plan...
Sorry, debt? Did you say
require
debt
more
there?
teachers in the coming years. So I can announce today that in order to attract and retain more teachers, those who teach key subjects in schools, and for the first time in our further education colleges too, will receive special bonuses of up to £30,000 tax-free over the first 5 years of their career. Our teachers... Our teachers do one of the most valuable jobs in our society, and we should reward them for that. And conference, I can tell you, my main funding priority in every spending review from now on will be education.
Making them be, you know,
because it's the
not just
closest
teachers,
thing we
but
have
custodians
to a
of children, making sure that they do
It is the best
all
economic
of the,
policy, the best
you know,
social policy, the best moral policy.
Not just teachers, but also social workers, social carers,
and to create
doctors,
a more prosperous
teachers,
society.
nurses,
It is not just my way,
doing it all.
conference, it is the conservative way.
Conservative way, yeah, making loads of money for yourself. Maggie, thanks for the super chat. Brought back proper knowledge from Link Schools, exactly. Captain Bottom Roberts, £10, thank you very much for the super chat. At 50p a swear, this is roughly what I owe.
I know times.
I'll throw some money in the swear jar for you.
We have all had to deal.
I'm not going to be able to pick this up later, it's going to be too heavy.
And I will be straight with you. We have mountains to overcome still. But today we have made 3 huge decisions to change the direction.
Assess Dripper looking to enrich himself and his mates.
We will
What's your blood
give
pressure
Britain
going,
the infrastructure it needs, protect the long-term future of our NHS, and cut cancer deaths by a quarter.
Please ignore all the
and
cuts we've
create
made to the teachers' pay while giving them more work to do
in the
than ever
Western
before.
world to set up our children for the opportunities of the future. If we commit, if we come together, we can achieve truly great things. We can build a country where
Go on then.
Is
You had
truly
13
valued,
years, mate.
where welfare
13
is a
years.
safety net and not a
If
way of
anyone
life, where
watching
small
this
businesses
worked on a
drive
project for
our
13
economy,
years,
where
I would be
innovation
ashamed
makes life
of them if
better,
they hadn't
where our
achieved
NHS
something
is properly
after those
funded
13 years,
and properly
especially
reformed,
if they
where
were
our
worse off
children
than when they
are the best
started the project
educated in the
13
Western
years
world,
earlier,
whether that's at
especially if
university
they
or
had
yes,
all the money
through
and
an
all the
apprenticeship,
opportunity
where
to
the
do what they wanted
scourge of
to do.
antisocial behaviour is treated
You are
as
the
defined
antisocial
is and
behaviour.
not some social
You don't believe in
condition,
society, you
where
just
for the
believe in the
most violent offenders,
individual, the
much
sovereign
means
individual.
where the
Like your
people
mate
and their
Rees-Mogg.
government decides who comes here and who can't, where the next generation can achieve the dream of owning their own home, where the elderly grow old with dignity,
The dream, because you know the reality is they're not
where
going to.
decency and mutual respect.
You
bind
don't know what
communities
decency
together,
means. You're not
where the
decent.
very idea of Britain is a symbol of hope and stability across the world, and where our United Kingdom
instability
remains united.
and despair. That's what we sell at the moment, thanks to the fact that you have been in charge for the last 13 years, you disgusting, idiotic, public schoolboy, fuck pig. Sorry, I mean not to swear so much, but... Hey.
All this and more is ours if we want it.
The future is yours.
Fight for it.
The future is yours. We're
next
going
election,
full
the
cabaret,
choice that
people. The
people
future is yours.
Than party politics.
Work brings freedom.
Do we want a government committed to making long-term decisions?
I want a government
Prepared to be
that
radical
functions.
in the face of challenges.
I want a
and to
government that
take
doesn't
on vested
obsess
interests?
over
Or do we want
stupid
to stand
culture
still
wars. I want a government that can
and
actually
quietly
grow the
accept more
economy
of the same?
and put more money in the
You either
pockets
think this
of
country
the
needs to
hard-working
change
men and
or you
women
don't.
of this
And if you
country.
do, you should stand with me and every person in this hall. You should stand with the Conservatives.
Nope, not going to happen. You are absolutely useless. You've had 13 years. 13 fucking years, mate. Sorry to swear. Put some more money in the swear jar. Shit, I missed the swear jar. 13 fucking years.
Today, this party put the needs of
Let's
the
take
British
disabled out the
people
dictionary and
first.
replace it with
We've
work
taken
shy.
the decision
Indeed,
many
Sam.
should have done but didn't. We've ended the HS2 drama, and in its place will embark on a full-scale national reinvestment in the
Nationalisation of the
infrastructure
trains?
people actually use and want, and the skilled workforce who will build it.
And
no
vague,
more hiding.
vague
No more
promises.
pretending in the face of overwhelming evidence. Too many sons and daughters, fathers and mothers are lost to lung cancer, heart disease, dementia, stillbirth, and we can change that. Today, we went beyond ideology.
The only other 14-year project I can think of is Duke Nukem Forever. Indeed, the sequel to Duke Nukem, which took years to come out, and then when it came out, it was shit.
That doesn't have to suffer the false choice to quit smoking or not, because they will never have started. Today, we set a course for our education system that will set our children up.
I mean,
for
apart from the
opportunities
HS2
of
thing,
the
it's the
future.
biggest U-turn
No
of
more
all
rip-off
time.
degrees.
The rest of it's
No
just
more low
tinkering around the
aspiration.
edges.
No more denigration of technical education. Just the
You can do nothing
best
about
education
cancer.
system
There's no
in the
point blaming
Western
smoking. It's
world.
now a small portion.
We will be bold.
Pretty good point
we will
there.
be radical.
7 million
we will face
people on waiting
resistance,
lists.
and we will meet it. We will give the country what it so sorely needs and yet too often has been denied.
A lack of Tories running the place.
So that we can
A new government, and an election when we want an election, because you're 20 points behind in the polls.
It is time for a change, and we are it. Thank you.
How are you the change? You've been in charge for 13 fucking years, you absolute cock. Oh my God, the screen has it just stopped. It's just stopped. Nothing I can do. Nothing I can do. Even the broadcast is just like, I can't take these lies anymore. Look at these lemons. We're the change. You're not the change. You're literally called the conservatives. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh God, that was torture. Don't know about you. That was fucking torture, mate. Not doing that again. And thankfully, I shouldn't have to ever do that again, because with any luck, the Tories will lose the next election by so many seats. It will make their little tiny racist, prejudiced, homophobic, transphobic, bigoted heads spin like never before. You could generate electricity, megawatts of electricity from all that spinning in their heads as they are yeeted into the sea by the good people of the United Kingdom who are just kind of, sick of their shit. Absolutely sick of their shit. Thank you very much for joining me on this special edition on Labour Social here. I'll be back later with a moment of truth, which I'll put together probably about this speech. Maggie Pie, thank you very much. The swear jar needs to pay for a new BMW M5. Thank you. I don't really know what a BMW M5 is. I thought M5 was a motorway. But yes, thank you very much. It's a motorway down it goes down to the southwest, doesn't it? The M5. I think I've driven on it on the way to Glastonbury. Anyway, right. I am going to turn these lights off because, I need to lie down. I'm going to have myself some water and some Anadin after having to put up with that. I'm really sorry that you had to endure that with me. I hope that some of my response to what he was saying was what you wanted to say, or maybe you were saying it yourself as you were watching it. But I've never experienced quite so much mindless hypocrisy as I have done over the last 13 years of this disgusting, immoral, grubby, money-grubbing Tory party that just seems to be there for the rich and not there for anyone else. Just an entire party filled to the brim with ladder kickers and people who think they know what's best for you. And they're not going to let you have a choice on that because they know what's best for you. Rishi Sunak was asked specifically about an election. And he said, now's not the time. We don't want one at the moment. People don't want an election, which is a lie because they are 20 points behind in the polls. If the ruling party was 20 points ahead in the polls, then there is a small argument that we don't need an election because people seem quite happy with who's in charge. People are not happy with who is in charge. And then that chundering bloody bastard, what's his name? Nearly called him a muggle there. He's not a wizard like the rest of us. That bloody idiot, Rishi Sunak, standing up there and saying very loudly, "We are the party of change." The biggest lie of all. I think the whole of the convention has just been leading up to that point, hasn't it? Because all of it's just been a cavalcade of lies. And it just led up to the biggest lie of all, which Rishi Sunak just said. You heard him. We are the party of change. We will deliver that change. He even got the word deliver in there, I think. Change. People want change. So vote for the same old bullshit. And do you know what we'll do that's different? We'll renege on all the promises we made. That's a bit different, isn't it? Hey, vote Conservative. Oh my God, I hate them. Right, gotta go now. Have a lie down. Have an aspirin. You should probably do that too. I'm sure your blood pressure isn't great after watching that absolute cacophony of mistruths, lies, U-turns, bullshittery, just general arse. That is the modern Tory party, right? I'm going to get some lunch. Reforming education is actively destructive. We need sweeping reforms to the job market. I have 3 degrees and several years job experience and can't find a way to get a long-term career. Yeah, because the Tories have destroyed that as well. Along with, I don't know, the economy, trust in your fellow human beings, and all hope for a better future. Thanks for watching. Phil will be back in the morning at 9:30 with Morning Brew. Until then, I'll be in the chat, so I'll be there in spirit in the chat. Until then, I'll say thank you so much for watching. Thanks for the super chat. Super chats were really good in that episode. I think people were just like, "Graham, take this, go buy some more aspirin." So thanks very much for that. And until next time, I'll say hello, good evening, welcome, and goodbye.